या परम करुणा बहुदुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र 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 सबावतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद भजो भजो माई चैतन्य निताई श्रीदृढ़ विश्वास कोई भजो भजो माई चैतन्य निताई विषय चढ़िया तेरा से भजिया मुके बोलो हरि हरि मुके बोलो हरि हरि देखो रे माए त्रिभुवने नाए हे मन दयाल दाता देखो रे पशु पाखी दूरे पाषाण विदारे सुनि जर गुण गाथा संसारे मजिया रोहिले पड़िया से पादे नाहिलो आशा संसारे मजिया रोहिले पड़िया से पादे नाहिलो आशा अपन करमा मुंजाय शमाना कोहो लोचन दासा परम करुणा बहुदुई जना निताई गौर Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जाय मुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमो पंकजनाभाय नमो पंकजमालिने नमो पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you all for our Prerna program. So today's topic is the life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So just a few days away, the next week is Gaur Purnima. So Gaur Purnima is the day in which Lord Chaitanya appeared. So many people have heard of incarnation of Krishna, Ram, the various avatars, but people are not aware of this incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So today, in whatever time we get, we will discuss a little about why Lord Chaitanya appeared in this world and some of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. So this song that we just sung now, Parama Karuna, this is a very, very beautiful song, because in this song Lochan Das Thakur is telling that how these two lords, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, so just like you have Krishna Balaram, so the same Krishna Balaram come in Kali Yuga as Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. So Lochan Das Thakur, who is a great devotee of Nityananda Prabhu, he says here that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, Gaur Nitai, are the most merciful. They are the most merciful incarnations because they have freely distributed love of God, Krishna Prem, entry into the spiritual world. They have freely given everyone. So understanding God and entering into the spiritual world, entering into Vrindavan is not easy for everyone. But Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have freely given this access. That is why when Srila Prabhupada, one time in the 1970s, when Prabhupada was inaugurating one of our ISKCON temples in America, and Prabhupada was installing Gaur Nitai deities. So the entire Abhishek was done, the Yajna was done. It was time for Prabhupada to give a class. So Prabhupada, before starting the class, he just sang this song, and Prabhupada was so much choked up with emotions, he couldn't even speak. So Prabhupada was just thinking that how merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu are. They have come to a foreign country and made foreign people into devotees. Actually, if you think about it, now ISKCON is there all over the world, but it's not easy for people to accept Krishna. Someone who's born outside India, accepting Krishna as God is one thing theoretically. Surrendering to Krishna is altogether a different thing. So if you find ISKCON centers around the world, all of them are like such serious devotees. In Russia, in every place we have like such pakka devotees of Krishna who have surrendered everything to Krishna. So Prabhupada, when he was thinking about this, Prabhupada had tears in his eyes. That it is only by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So Prabhupada in fact couldn't even speak that day. Prabhupada was so much choked up with emotions. So it is explained that in this world there are many people who give different definitions of God. Everyone has their own understanding of God. And India is a place, and even abroad you will find so many spiritual movements coming up. Every day you will find some new guru who is coming up and a new philosophy that is coming up. Different kinds of organizations. And everyone has different ideas of God. Many people will tell you, I am only God. You will find in India that there are many people who call themselves God. And someone will tell, everyone is God, we are all God. This philosophy is also very prominent. Hum sab ek hain, we are all one with God. So many different understandings people have about God. So something interesting is, you go and ask anyone, tell me something about COVID vaccine. If someone is an engineer, he will tell you, Baba, that's not my field, I will not speak. Right? Or you go and ask a doctor, tell me how to construct a building. He will say, that is not my field, I don't know about building construction, I will tell you about medicine. But you go and ask anyone about God, everyone will give 1 hour lecture. We are having Prerna lecture, everyone will give Prerna lecture. Why only ISKCON people give Prerna? I also can give Prerna. I also can speak about God. So this is the problem. People don't have the humility to tell, I don't know. Everyone is freely opening their own business, their own shop, distributing their understanding of God. But the Vedic scriptures explain that the best way to understand God is by studying the Vedic scriptures. Because the Vedas are like the mother. Only they can tell us who the Father is. Only by studying the Vedas, the Vedic scriptures, we can understand who God is. Otherwise, everyone will come to a different conclusion of God. What is the basis? The basis has to be Shastra, Shabda Praman, the word of authority. So therefore, to understand God, one has to open the Vedic literatures. And one of the name of the Vedic literatures is Apurusheya. That means it is not created by any man. It is directly coming from the Supreme Lord. In fact, there is a mantra in the Brihadaranya Upanishad which says that the 4 Vedas are coming from the breathing of Vishnu. When Lord Vishnu breathes out, the Vedas come. So the Vedas are Apurusheya. They are not created by any human being. So therefore, when we read the Vedas, only through the Vedic literatures we can understand who God is. And in the Vedas, the definition of God comes. What is the definition of God? Parashar Muni, the father of Vyasdev, gives the definition of God. What is the definition? Aishwaryasya samagrasya Viryasya yashasha shriya Jnana vairagayaschaiva Sanan bhaga itingana. So this is like the precise definition of God. So Parashar Muni is defining God means one who has the 6 qualities in full. So if tomorrow you find anyone who tells you, I am God. If someone tells you, I am God, you have to have a test, no? You have to test him whether he is God or not. The test is that person should have these 6 things in full, not little, full. So what are the 6 things? The first thing is Aishwarya. Aishwarya means wealth. He has to be the wealthiest person. Second is strength. He has to be very, very strong. There should not be anyone who is stronger than him. The third is beauty. He should be the most beautiful. The fourth is fame. He has to be most famous. The fifth is knowledge, most knowledgeable. And the sixth is renunciation, vairagya. So if you find anyone who has all the 6 qualities in full, such a personality is God. So now you may say, who is this person who fits into this definition? The Shastras explain there is only one person who fits into this definition. That is Krishna. Krishna is this one person who exactly fits into the definition of God. And if you study Krishna Leela very carefully, you will find that Lord Krishna had all the 6 opulences in full. Just like the first opulence is wealth. God means he has to be the wealthiest. When Krishna was there in this planet, he was married to 16,000 wives. And for each wife, he had a palace. Imagine, even Ambani will have 1 house or 2 houses maximum. One in India, one in London, somewhere probably. Krishna had in Dwarka 16,000 palaces. 16,000 palaces, can you imagine? And all the palaces were made of marble, ivory, gold, all this very valuable jewels. So that was Krishna's richness that he had. The master of Lakshmi, he was the husband of Rukmini. Who is Rukmini? Rukmini ji is Lakshmi Devi. That's why one of Krishna's name is Madhava. Madhava means the husband of the goddess of fortune. This is Krishna's wealth. The next is fame. Fame means reputation. And we all know that even though Krishna Leela is over 5,000 years back, Krishna came 5,000 years ago, till now Krishna is the most famous person. Okay. So when Srila Prabhupada was in America, one reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON was not even started at this point. So they asked Prabhupada, how many devotees of Krishna are there in India? How many followers of Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said millions. Millions of followers. And if you actually go around India, you'll find that so many people have natural love for Krishna. So Krishna's fame is continuously on even till this point. The next renunciation is strength. Krishna was so strong, when he was 3 months old, Putana came to kill Krishna. 3 months old, Krishna killed Putana. When Krishna was 7 years old, Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. So that was the strength of Krishna. Very effortlessly he lifted Govardhan Hill. And then beauty. Krishna is so beautiful. When he was there in this planet, everyone's eyes would be fixed on Krishna only. The gopis, they were cursing Brahma. What was their curse? They were telling Brahmaji, why did you make this eyelid? Because when Krishna is in front of us, this eyelid closes and we can't see Krishna. Generally, in a minute, how many times eyelids close, we don't have any idea. We don't even recognize it. But the gopis had so much attraction for Krishna's beauty, they were cursing Brahma, why did you make this eyelid? Because you made this eyelid, we can't see Krishna fully.